Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into a fascinating passage from the Bible, Mark 8:14-21. In this story, Jesus warns his disciples about the leaven. But what does leaven have to do with our lives today? Well, in our fast-paced, achievement-driven world, it's easy to forget about the simple things, the blessings that are right in front of us. This passage, in a way, is all about that. Jesus and his disciples are on a boat, and the disciples have forgotten to bring bread. Jesus uses this moment as a teaching opportunity, warning them about the leaven of the Pharisees and Herod. But the disciples, they're just thinking about the literal bread they've forgotten. They're missing the bigger picture. Now that we've set the stage, let's delve deeper into each verse. Opening. Starting with the disciples forgetting the bread, we see a common human trait. We've all been there, haven't we? We're so caught up in the day-to-day that we overlook the simple yet crucial things. In this case, the disciples forgot the bread and only realized it when Jesus warned them about leaven. But their minds were stuck on the literal, missing out on the deeper spiritual message. Moving on, Jesus mentions the leaven of the Pharisees and Herod. This leaven is a metaphor for the false teachings and worldly values that can easily lead us astray. Picture the relentless bombardment of media, the pressures of social media, and the lure of materialistic desires. It's all too easy to get swept up in these distractions and lose sight of God's truth. Next, Jesus questions the disciples, challenging their understanding and empathy. He asks, "Do you not yet perceive or understand? Are your hearts hardened? Having eyes do you not see, and having ears do you not hear, and do you not remember?" These questions aren't just for the disciples, they're for us too. Are we truly attuned to the needs of others? Do we remember God's blessings and faithfulness in our lives? Finally, Jesus reminds them of the miracle of the loaves, a powerful demonstration of his abundant provision even in times of scarcity. This is a testament to God's grace, always available to us, even when we're caught up in the hustle and bustle of life. With the verses broken down, let's see how they connect to our modern world. We live in a time of information overload, where the leaven of distractions is everywhere. But by practicing mindfulness and gratitude, we can keep our focus on what truly matters. And by responding to the needs of others with compassion, we can embody the love and generosity that Jesus teaches us in these verses. In today's world, we can easily relate to the disciples' confusion as we navigate our own sea of information. We're bombarded daily with news, social media updates, and endless streams of content. It's like a never-ending buffet of information, but so much of it is just leaven, distracting us from what truly matters. Then we have the lure of materialism, a modern-day leaven that tempts us to crave more, to constantly seek the next best thing. It's easy to forget the simple, everyday blessings like a loaf of bread when we're constantly bombarded with advertisements for the latest gadgets and trends. But just as Jesus reminded his disciples of the miracle of the loaves, we too can remember God's abundant provisions in our lives. And finally, let's talk about compassion, or sometimes the lack thereof. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to see needs but not respond, to hear cries but not act. Just as Jesus challenged his disciples, we too need to ask ourselves, are we truly seeing and hearing the needs of others? Are we responding with compassion and kindness? Understanding these connections, we can now challenge ourselves to apply these lessons in our lives. Let's strive to sift through the leaven, to be truly present, to appreciate our blessings, and to respond with compassion. After all, isn't that what being a disciple in the modern world is all about? This week, let's challenge ourselves to be more mindful. Let's identify and overcome the leaven that distracts us from the divine message. Let's remember past blessings as reminders of God's unending grace. Let's practice compassion, not just in thought but in action. Share your experiences and reflections in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Remember, friends, even in the hustle and bustle of modern life, God's love and provision are constant. Don't let the leaven of the world blind you to his presence. Be mindful, be grateful, and be kind. Until next time, stay blessed.